For the past 50 years, the American dollar has been the king, the unquestioned reserve currency, the backbone of global commerce, and the ultimate weapon of US foreign policy. That era is now over. This is Red Zone, and what we are witnessing right now is the most aggressive, systematic attempt by hostile nations to de-dollarize the world economy, shattering the financial foundation of the United States. This isn't just theory, this is a verifiable multi-trillion-dollar action plan unfolding in real time, and it means the stability you take for granted is vanishing. The move began quietly, but it has accelerated into a full-blown financial insurgency. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa have stopped simply complaining about US hegemony. They are actively building a parallel financial fortress designed to circumvent the Washington consensus. Every major oil deal, every key infrastructure project between these nations is now being settled in local currencies, gold or digital assets, systematically bypassing the US banking system entirely. Think about the implications. Every transaction that ignores the dollar is a blow to American financial dominance. This is economic warfare by design, and the target is your wallet. But China's strategy is the most insidious, leveraging their industrial might to enforce compliance. They are using their massive manufacturing capacity and their near-monopoly dominance in rare earth minerals to twist the arms of other nations and leverage dependency. They tell nations, trade with us in your local currency or face total supply chain collapse. This isn't a suggestion, it's a financial ultimatum. For any developing nation desperate to escape the dollar's volatility while securing vital components for their own growth, this is an offer too tempting to refuse. Every nation that defects from the dollar system adds a new leak to the American financial dam, and that dam is starting to crumble. The inevitable question is, why should you care? When the global demand for the dollar drops, the consequences are immediate and disastrous for the American citizen. Our interest rates will spike, making mortgages, student loans, and car financing prohibitively expensive. The cost of imported goods, everything from electronics to clothing, skyrockets, because the dollar buys less overseas. Worst of all, the ability of the US government to finance its massive, unsustainable $35 trillion debt becomes exponentially more difficult, forcing either crippling tax hikes or hyperinflationary measures. The stability you take for granted, the ability to buy cheap goods, to get an affordable loan that is based entirely on the dollar's global dominance. When that grip weakens, every single American pays the price. The financial tectonic plates are shifting, and Washington is seemingly asleep at the wheel, distracted by petty infighting. We are at a critical juncture. The forces aligned against the dollar are stronger and more organized than ever before. In segment 2, we will expose the 3 specific American industries that stand to collapse first when the dollar's grip weakens, and the single major political scandal that is distracting leaders from this existential threat. Stay with Red Zone. In our first segment, we broke down the global financial insurgency aimed squarely at the US dollar. Now we must turn inward. If the dollar's reign ends, the economic fallout won't be distributed evenly. 3 specific American sectors, the very pillars of our domestic strengths, are poised to collapse first, triggering a crisis that hits Main Street harder than Wall Street. Pillar number 1, the US manufacturing sector, specifically autos and tech. The moment China is truly free of the dollar, they gain immense pricing power. If American companies, like Ford or Apple, cannot pay for crucial components in a globally accepted currency, or if China suddenly demands payment in yuan, the cost of production for everything from electric vehicles to semiconductors will skyrocket. American manufacturing, already struggling, will lose its remaining competitive edge globally, leading to mass layoffs and shuttered factories in the Midwest and South. We are talking about millions of American jobs suddenly placed on the chopping block because of Beijing's financial maneuvering. Pillar number 2, the global energy giants and the For decades, the US dollar's power was backed by oil, the petrodollar. Every barrel of crude oil was priced in USD. That guaranteed global demand for our currency. When Saudi Arabia, now aligning more closely with BRICS, starts accepting payments for oil in other currencies, the entire petrodollar system dissolves. This doesn't just impact ExxonMobil, it weakens the US Treasury's ability to finance our government debt, forcing the Federal Reserve into impossible choices: print more money and risk hyperinflation, or stop buying debt and trigger a market panic. Pillar number 3, American agriculture. The US is a major exporter of food, but a weakened dollar makes our exports more volatile and less attractive to countries that have already shifted away from USD. Nations like Brazil and Argentina, both key BRICS allies, are rapidly expanding their agricultural exports, ready to fill the gap left by a destabilized America. This financial shift means American farmers, who rely on reliable global markets, will suddenly face massive instability and depressed prices, putting immense pressure on rural economies across the heartland. The question then becomes, why is Washington not fighting this existential threat with everything it has? The answer is distraction. While foreign powers are rewriting the global financial system, our political leaders are consumed by a single, all-encompassing political scandal or internal squabble that serves as a smokescreen for fundamental national failure. Whether it is a highly publicized, politically motivated impeachment inquiry, a distracting culture war battle, or an endless debate over a minor spending bill, these issues are engineered to monopolize the media cycle and distract our attention. They are noise. They create an illusion of action while the serious, complex geopolitical work that requires bipartisan focus is ignored. The true crime isn't the scandal itself. It is the political malpractice that allows Washington to ignore the biggest national security threat of the century, the collapse of our currency as global standing. The forces working against the dollar have never been stronger, yet the political willpower in DC has never been weaker. This is not just complacency. It is institutional suicide. In our final segment, we will reveal the 3 immediate steps the US government must take to reclaim financial control, and the final, catastrophic warning that every American needs to heed to protect their savings. Don't go anywhere. The Red Zone continues. We have diagnosed the economic disease, a coordinated global effort to kill the dollar, amplified by political distraction here at home. Now, we must look at the cure. To counter Beijing's financial weapon and reclaim its dominance, the US must execute a precise, immediate 3-step counter-strategy. Step 1. Weaponize energy independence. The US is a superpower in natural gas and oil. Washington must immediately cease treating energy as a political football and aggressively use it as a strategic asset. We must offer our key allies Japan, South Korea, and NATO partners massive long-term dollar-based energy deals that are too stable and too cheap to refuse. This ties them back into the petrodollar system, reinforcing the dollar with the world's most crucial commodity. This is not about saving the environment. This is about saving the Republic's financial future. Step 2. The gold standard pivot. While we won't return to the traditional gold standard, the US Treasury must begin to visibly back the dollar with a substantial physical gold accumulation program. This sends an undeniable signal of stability and strength to the rest of the world that the dollar is backed by more than just debt and political goodwill. It directly counters the BRICS strategy of accumulating gold to back their own parallel currencies. This is an immediate psychological move to restore global confidence. Step 3. The technology fortress. Washington must cut through bureaucratic red tape and launch a national initiative to bring the manufacturing of every critical technology, semiconductors, defense components, and rare earth processing back to American soil. This is not outsourcing. This is economic sovereignty. We must eliminate the Chinese chokehold on our supply chains so that their financial ultimatums hold no power over our industries. This requires massive bipartisan political will, something that has been tragically missing in recent years. These 3 steps are not hypothetical. They are the survival roadmap, but even if Washington executes this plan perfectly, the global system remains on a knife edge. And this leads us to the final warning that the Red Zone team has uncovered. Economists are quietly warning that the true trigger for a catastrophic global shift won't be a gradual decline, but a sudden, massive collapse. The single event that could trigger the final domino is the next major sovereign debt crisis in the European Union or a major, highly leveraged developing economy. If a Western financial institution, a major bank, or even a small nation suddenly defaults, the ripple effect would paralyze global markets. Fear of contagion would cause trillions of dollars to flee the existing system, and the only established, ready alternative is the BRICS parallel system. That sudden, irreversible transfer of trillions of dollars is the ultimate red zone scenario. This is not a time for complacency. This is a time to prepare. The financial future of the United States hinges on decisive action now. You must recognize that the stability of your bank account, your retirement funds, and your children's prospects is tied directly to the battle for global reserve currency status. You have the right to know. What immediate steps do you think Congress should take? Sound off in the comments below with your strategy. Hit that like button if you demand financial honesty from your government, and most importantly, subscribe to Red Zone for continuous, unfiltered analysis that protects your future from these hidden global threats. We are the Red Zone. Thank you for watching.